So analysis and acceptance. This is the way that you get over any of these negative, toxic, untrue beliefs about women or relationships in general. So you have all these negative beliefs and we're just gonna untangle them bit by bit. You can get over it mentally, right? But the way that you get true analysis is by taking action. But that bitterness, that quick judgment, that emotional fucking reaction, it stopped you from getting wisdom regarding love and relationships with women. Hey guys, Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about bitterness regarding love. Are you bitter about love? Are you butthurt about love? Are you repulsed by romance? What is it about romance and love that makes you bitter? Because you can answer this very easily. Are you bitter about love? Well, some people are in denial of it. But I'm sure that upon reading the title, maybe you felt some sort of way. And the more I talk about it, maybe it'll start to rise up those feelings inside of you. And so if you are aware of your bitterness, of course, you need this video. But if you're not aware of your bitterness, then you really need this video. And so you should watch your emotions as you listen to the things I say and see if you are immediately triggered. And that might be a sign of cognitive dissonance. Not necessarily always, but it might be a sign that maybe not everything is 100% there and you need to fix some of your mental models, because romance is very beautiful, love is beautiful. Yes, it's impermanent, and I've talked about that a lot, and you can't rely on it forever. You know, at some point you're either gonna break up or one of you is gonna die, right? That's the hard truth. So it is impermanent, but it is enjoyable and it does make your life much, much happier. And if you have to choose between a lot of impermanent pleasures in life, having genuine, sincere, sexual friendship, camaraderie, partnership, being lovers, having that relationship with someone, that is definitely up there in the ranks of what is enjoyable in this life. I would recommend. I may be only coming up 28 soon, but I've lived a lot of life in my short life, technically, but it definitely can enrich your life. And it is important that you find the right person. And I've talked about that a lot too, but I really want you to unravel some of your bitterness with regards to romance, because it's obviously going to affect, even if you're dead set on not having a relationship, it's still going to affect how you deal with women. Because guys who are really open to romance and love, but have a mature outlook on it and a realistic outview, they are much better with women in general because they have a certain effect. You have a lover effect. So in order to love, you have to not be bitter about it, because the bitterness just strangles it and you're not allowed to fully experience what it is. So let's get to why you're bitter about it and how certain people react to love incorrectly, and then how to fix that. Now, as we know, bitterness usually arises after a period of being naive. You're overly trusting, you put way too much weight into the relationship and you rely upon her to provide a lot of happiness, and maybe you put her first in your life. And then of course you're met with disappointment because she cannot have that responsibility to make you completely happy. Something needs to be above her. And we've noticed that when you have that relationship where you have something greater than her, but maybe she's number two, you know, she loves you more than she ever could because she's with a man who cares for her, of course, but is reaching towards something higher. So she's part of his journey, his story. So when you encounter that disappointment, what's going to happen is you might come to that realization that I just said, that, you know, you just need to fix some elements. You know, there's nothing wrong with love, but maybe you just went too far. You were too, you jumped in too quick, you know, head first. But a lot of people are going to immediately react to that disappointment with bitterness, usually simply because they didn't take the time to mind, you know, their feelings and get through the tunnels that are blocking the view of how love really works. And when they immediately have that repulsion, what they start to do is come up with lies to themselves and incorrect beliefs regarding love. And so they start to believe things like, I haven't been on the blackboard in like 2 months, so I need to get my skills back. This is a common one. So all women are cheaters. This is what spawns the MGTOW stuff, the men go their own way movement, where they're like, I'm not gonna be with women at all. Well, there's different severities of it, and I'll talk about that in another video, actually, that we'll be filming today. But they're going to have this viewpoint that all women are cheaters. All women are unfaithful. It's not worth trusting them. They can't be trusted. They always lie, they deceive. This is not true. Now, women do have a certain nature where they can be innocently, I'm trying to phrase this properly. It's not that they're lying, because that's not the correct word, but sometimes they lie by omission, and they leave out details or just don't even say things and open up in a certain way that, information that might be necessary. But it's not technically lying, and they're very smart with the way that they present things or hide things. And so when women do want to cheat or do want to deceive, they're very good at it. They're very, very good at it. And so I can see why you would have that, once you see that mastery of deception in a woman for the first time or the second time or the third time, however fucking bitter you are, because a lot of you guys are real deep in the hole, but I'm gonna try and get you out. So when you see that deception, you're going to just be like, holy fuck, this is darkness, this is evil, I don't wanna look at it. The problem is when you don't look into the abyss, you can't see that actually there isn't an abyss. There is something actually deeper than it. So when you blanket statement all women, whenever you have a very huge generalization, you better be careful. I have a few like ultimates, with women like dominant men. I mean, that's pretty much true in 100% of cases in my opinion. But it's not a moral judgment. It's just a systematic analysis of how like attraction works. Women just seem to 100% of the time like this kind of behavior. But all women are cheaters. When you start making moral claims like that, then you need to be careful. Moral claims are very rarely absolute. So obviously not women are all cheaters. Are a lot of women cheaters? Yes. If you go after the wrong kind of girl, then most guys who have a lot of bitterness, they just deal with toxic women. So those few toxic women they have in their life dominates their view. So the way to get past a lot of this bitterness, right, is, oh my God, I forgot how to spell. I was like, what is this word, right? That fucking bachelor's degree in literature is coming in fucking handy right here. I wanted to be a teacher at one, I guess that's what I'm doing now, so I am a teacher, right? I forget that a lot of times. So I am doing what I wanted to do. But I wanted to be like a high schooler professor and of literature or philosophy or religion, but fuck that shit. But yeah, I could just imagine me being on the fucking board talking to students like, my fucking handwriting, and I'm like misspelling shit. I'm like, I would be a good teacher, I think. I am, yeah. Fuck it, I might go back one day. I would literally get in so much trouble because, I'd be in university, and as soon as like the students like quit my class, they're gonna fuck me. As soon as they finish the class, No, I wouldn't break any rules. No, I would follow the rules. But if I'm allowed to fuck a cute 21-year-old, I'm gonna fucking do it. So watch me want to be a professor like in the future, and they find this video and they're like, they know what they're getting into. Fuck them. So analysis and acceptance. This is the way that you get over any of these negative, toxic, untrue beliefs about women or relationships in general. All women are cheaters. All women are chronic liars. Well, there's a lot of things that are true, but you have the wrong, they're true, but there's details that are missing, which makes the blanket statement like that. Like that would be wrong. All women are chronic liars. That would be an incorrect statement, but it's like close. But okay, all women are cheaters, all women lie all the time. All women are sluts. They all fuck, a new Chad every fucking week. They only care about looks, they only care about money. Toxic mindsets like that, and then that infects your idea about love. So your ideas about love is not one singular idea. There is a big, of course, love thing that you have in your mind. But you have a lot of supporting beliefs and entangling beliefs that are all, I guess, let's say true love is like this ball, and there's these, and it's full of light, and there's all these fucking vines and stones and stuff blocking it. Those are the beliefs of this and that and all the examples I just gave. And it's, all these are supporting each other, and in conjunction are kind of making you bitter, right? Because the bitterness is the one that we're trying to get out, right? If we can get you cool relationships, yeah, but it's even better to just not be bitter, because then you're just not suffering, right? So you have all these negative beliefs, and we're just gonna untangle them bit by bit through analysis and acceptance. So the acceptance part is like accepting the darker side of things, okay? So not all women are cheaters because we do the analysis to find out that it's wrong. Well, I should just start with that. So you do the analysis to see that it's wrong by perhaps changing the quality of women that you're dating, changing your approach to a relationship, learning relationship game by subscribing to this channel, sharing the video with your girlfriend. No, you probably shouldn't do that. Well, unless she's awesome. You like the video, you comment, you buy all of this shit in the description below. Actually, while I'm speaking of stuff that you should buy in the description below, you see, part of the solution, the last solution, is going to be like actually take action. So let me give you a little sneak peek. But I want you to understand that you can get over it mentally, right? But the way that you get true analysis is by taking action. And so you have to actually get a date and meet a girl for coffee and seduce her, take her home, fuck her. But then, of course, in the first place, you have to approach her, right? One good tip, get off online dating. Stop doing Tinder, stop doing Bumble. You can do that stuff on the side, but a lot of you are relying on it. I have a lot of clients who fucking rely on it too much, and I tell them just quit it. And when they do, they have better results with higher quality women. So they get to see proof that women are not all, cheaters or liars or cunts and sluts, whatever. Then you're going to actually be able to see in real time these principles or these false beliefs that you had being disproven, right? But you have to approach the girl in the first place, right? So when you're not dealing with Tinder bitches, Tinderellas, and Bumbleinas, oh, that's a good one, Bumbleinas. When you're not dealing with those women and you're meeting women during the day, for instance, you are going to be exposed to the highest quality of women who aren't surrounded by drunk idiots and a lot of competition, and everyone's like, I'm the coolest person in the club, right? She's just going to fucking work. You see her and you approach her, you give her a compliment, you introduce yourself, you start conversation. Now, if you don't know how to do that, and I understand that you're thinking, oh, what the fuck do I say next? Okay, you give a compliment, but then how do I actually get her number? Well, I have a course coming up called Meet Girls Everywhere that focuses on those first 5 minutes, right? It's an entire course on just those first 5 minutes of meeting her, talking to her, getting her number, and often it takes like 2 minutes. And then getting her on a date, and then continuing to have the beautiful love and romance that possibly you will have. But I just focus on teaching you how to meet the girl and get her on a date and have a great conversation that's gonna make her want to actually go on the date with you, because sometimes you get girls' numbers, but then it doesn't go anywhere. But she's gonna be excited to see you, she's gonna be texting you emojis, and she's going to be very happy when you do meet and you have amazing conversation and you seduce her, and then hopefully you sleep with her and you start a relationship with her and you have something that's good that doesn't make you bitter, right? So this will be coming out, not really sure. I'll give you a lot of information in future videos, but I want you to start getting pumped for this. It's called Meet Girls Everywhere. We'll put the logo right here so you can be like, ooh, this thing that's coming out, I'm gonna buy it. And yes, you are gonna buy it. It's gonna be in the description below in some future video, and you're gonna buy it and it's gonna be awesome, and you're gonna have great experiences with girls, and you're not gonna have this bitterness about women. Cool. Sales pitch over. All right, so let's go back to this. You get rid of the bad beliefs by analyzing them with data and what would be a good word? Discrimination. I mean, philosophically that's a good word, but it just has weird connotations. This baby. That's the king of all fucking tools in your mind. So data, you need data. So you need to be, dating girls. Hopefully you need to be dating higher quality girls that you're crazy about, that you just want to be with, not girls that you kind of just settle for because it's the best you can get. Stop being a bitch, stop settling. So you approach cool girls, you date cool girls, you fail with cool girls, you start to have cool girls as lovers, and you get as much fucking data as you can. The more, the better. I would rather you have too much data and not enough analysis or like discernment. Because once you do learn your discernment, you have a fucking, I remember I did this, I was doing so much work and my mind couldn't keep up with how much I was like intuitively learning, and I was getting really frustrated with my results. And then I took a break and I looked back and I just started to analyze everything that I'd already done, and I just learned everything in like fucking a few months. It's fucking quantum leap of understanding with women. So lots of fucking data. Then discernment. Now, discernment requires you to have a calm mind. It requires you to sit at home and think about experiences by not getting, because bitterness blocks your view. It may be true. You may actually see and sense something that's evil, right? And you're gonna be like, oh, that's fucking disgusting, right? But there's gonna be parts of it too that maybe they were your fault, for instance, right? But that bitterness, that quick judgment, that emotional fucking reaction, it stopped you from getting wisdom regarding love and relationships with women. So discerning is seeing what is true and what's not by asking yourself questions that are realistic and that aren't biased. And you're always challenging your assumptions. And when you start to ask questions about your questions about your questions, it's like the Socratic method or meditation, you're going to come to more true judgments regarding things. And eventually, hopefully, you find something that is always true. So once you have that analysis, and then once you accept some of the things that you discerned that are not that nice, that, you know, there are some dark parts of human psychology and also specifically female psychology. But when you start to let go of your hatred towards that evil or that darkness that you see in others or yourself or women, you're gonna have a much more pleasant experience with your relationships and with your everyday walking around mind, right? And you're gonna just reduce a ton of suffering and you're gonna live a happier life. Because when you see, for instance, a girl that you're fucking and you're not really that into her, for instance. This is one little small toxic example of bitterness towards love that I noticed in a friend. And this girl started being a little bit too enthusiastic about him and too feminine and too submissive and too girlfriendy, right? And he didn't feel that way about her. Now, what he needs to realize is that, okay, I'm not into her that much, but I still recognize that she's a human being and she has a desire for love and a desire for acceptance. And, you know, I'm her lover, so to some extent it is my responsibility to provide that for her. If you don't want to, then you don't have to, but it seems like the compassionate move, and you don't have to fucking get in your feelings, and, you know, you can just accept the fact that you don't even have to return her love, right? I'm not saying you're forced to be a white knight and save her soul and, you know, give her love when you don't really feel that way. No. But you can just simply empathetically accept her good sides, right? So acceptance is not only about the bad sides and the toxic sides. Sometimes you're gonna have to accept the amazing qualities in a woman, and unfortunately you don't feel the same way about her, and it fucking sucks when you do feel that way. Because you genuinely do like women and you love them and you want them to have a good time and you want your lovers to be happy and be better than when you found them. But you might not always feel the same way about her, you know, it's just sex for you. And as long as you were upfront about that, or, you know, at least it was just very obvious, then there's nothing wrong with what you did, but just accept the fact that she wants to love someone and have affection. And then if it gets to a point where, you know, you can't provide what she needs anymore, of course you guys are gonna stop seeing each other. But you can not have this bitter reaction of like, oh yeah, she's getting so attached and, you know, and you don't even notice that you're having a negative reaction to something that's beautiful, and what it does is it's hurting her, it's cruel, right? So find a more, I'm not saying exactly how you need to respond to that, everyone has their own reaction, depending how they feel about her. But you should go into this, if you wanna get rid of this bitterness, right, you're gonna have to put out that love, whatever that means for you. Through your analysis and your acceptance and your discernment and getting rid of bad beliefs, you're gonna have to start putting back out there good stuff, right? Because what you put out, you're gonna get back, right? That's just a principle that seems to be true. So when you're going out into your dating life and spending time with your women and you come to it with a positive, empathetic, compassionate place, still sexual and fun and exciting, right? Don't lose that. Don't be like, hey, I love you, oh my God. Right? You're still a man, you still have sexuality, you're still fucking alpha, but you're not so alpha that you can't see some of the lighter and more beautiful sides of intimacy with women that you're missing out. You're missing out on half the fun, right? Sex is great, but intimacy is even better, and it doesn't have to be fucking, oh my God, I love you, I want to be with you forever. It can just be a nice night you spent with the lover of yours that you're never gonna see her again. Never. Because you guys are from different countries and you're just in the town for the same town for one night. Still, give her the best experience you could, you know, just accept it for what it is, love that it happened and that was beautiful, and then you go your separate ways. but you enjoyed the full experience because you weren't bitter about love and expecting an everlasting romance to spawn from this. It was just meant to be a single flower to bloom for a day, but that's still very beautiful. So you accepted that, you weren't bitter about it, and you enjoyed the flower, and then it died, and then that was it. And it was a beautiful life, and you weren't bitter about it. Cool. That was very poetic. So, Hector Castillo, Poppy, from girlschase.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Buy all the shit in the description below. One Date, buy that. My product that's coming out, my course, Meet Girls Everywhere, it's kind of like it gives you how to meet her really well, and then One Date is a great conjunction course with that. So check out One Date in the description below, and then when my Meet Girls Everywhere course comes out, also buy that. Like, subscribe, ring the bell again 5 times. Well, actually, no, that'll make you unlike it if you liked it too much. That's stupid. Press dislike 2 times, and then like 7 times, and then go fuck yourself.